Сайн байцгаана уу хүнд үзэгчдээ. Өнөөдөр манай Сато нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор сонин хүн орж байгаа. Энэ хүн бол NHK-гийн гүйцэтгэх захирлаар олон жил ажилласан. Ер нь NHK-д баг NHK чинь 100-аад жил болж байгаа. Тэрний баг хагасаар нь энэ хүн ажиллаж амьдарч холбоотой байсан. Энэ хэвлэл мэдээллийн ялангуяа олон нийтийн хэвлэл мэдээллийн тухай онцгой сонин юм ярих тийм ноёнтой ярилцж байна. Энэ хүн бол ноён Toshiyuki Sato сан байгаамаа.
Toshiyuki Sato 1973 онд Сэдэв их сургуулийн улс төр эдийн засгийн чиглэлээр төгсөөд NHK Японы өргөн нэвтрүүлгийн корпорацид ажилд орж Бангкок, Манил, Сүүл, Вашингтон, Куала-Лумпур зэрэг хотуудад сурвалжлагч товчооны даргаар ажиллаж 911 ба Иракийн дайны үеийн ерөнхий редактор, NHK World сувгийн ерөнхий захирал, өргөн нэвтрүүлгийн ерөнхий газрын гүйцэтгэх захирал, нийт энэхүү салбарт 40 жил ажиллаад 2013 онд NHK-гээс тэтгэврт гарсан. Аз номхон далайн өргөн нэвтрүүлгийн холбооны ерөнхий захирал, бодлого судлалын үндэсний дээд сургуулийн багш, Японы олон улсын хамтын ажиллагааны нийгэмлэгийн багш, олон улсын олон нийтийн өргөн нэвтрүүлгийн ерөнхий нарийн бичгийн дарга, Япон Солонгосын соёлын солилцооны сангийн зөвлөх.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure to be here.
Let's start from the case. What brought you to Mongolia?
Well, my friend, very good friend, I should say, because he asked me to come to Ulaanbaatar to attend some seminar organized by Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. And it's about how do you say? About access to information, and
freedom of expression.
Yeah. Freedom of expression and access to information.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are for only a few days in Mongolia, so I would not much ask about Mongolian media, but I would like to ask, taking this opportunity, you have been about 40 years with NHK, which has now about 100 years these days.
Yes.
And so you have all this experiences of public TV. How does it work? And you have been in many countries.
Yes.
Chief bureau chief of NHK. So let's talk about the public broadcasting in general. So was it the idea how NHK came to the existence? It was an idea of the government, and then yet you have been working with the government. It still is financed, and yet you are independent body. Let's talk. What was the most important? The part that was driving this so many years?
That's a very fundamental question, and I've been a person who can never realize something I really want.
Okay.
But choosing my job, NHK, was the only exception.
Okay.
That I could choose my job. And
good choice for 40 years.
I think so.
Okay.
And the reason I chose NHK for my job was that I shouldn't be working for money, and I should fulfill my hope or my wish to know anything. I'm a very curious person. So I want to do something I think curious. So, my job, being a journalist, really was great to me. And if I were born again, I'd choose the same job.
Wow, why?
Because it's interesting.
Interesting. What makes though interesting? Journalism in general.
Oh, I like classical music. So I have two different, directions of interest.
Okay.
But it's good.
Communication.
Okay.
NHK is you have a particular law that regulates NHK position.
NHK Broadcast Act.
Yet makes NHK independent. When was that Broadcast Act was made?
It's a long story. I wasn't born when NHK started. That was in 1925. And BBC started in 1922. So it's a 100th century business.
Okay.
And for the NHK, it started as a radio broadcaster. And anyone who wishes to hear the production rushed to buy the radio set. And NHK's license fee started that anyone who owns radio at home must pay that fee to our company. And this way, the license fee started. I think they saw the scheme of gathering found from other countries.
Today, also the same.
Yes.
And each family, every household or every TV?
Household. Still, yes.
Whatever TV, how many TV, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So every household today, how much they pay?
It's about 1,200 yen per month.
1,200 yen.
So that's about $8 US.
Yes.
Yeah.
Per month.
Okay.
So is it keep increasing, or it was the same for many years?
It's been increasing, but NHK management felt a kind of pressure from outside, and they gave up 10%. So our license fee went down by 10% last year.
Now 10%.
But then the inflation started.
Yes. So is the fees tied to particular things, to inflation or
like
to
CPI.
US dollar, CPI?
No. For the NHK, not with CPI. If our budget gave the link, then our management may ask Parliament to pay or government to raise.
How much you have money from the government?
No, nothing.
Not from the government.
There is some exception for the international broadcasting. I think the government pays maybe 1/7 or 1/6 of the necessary cost. That's the time I was in the management, the director general for the international broadcasting.
How long you have been working for international broadcasting of NHK?
My career, I may say that I started as a simple journalist and grew to be an international correspondent. And I was based several cities as a bureau chief or as a correspondent. And then I was transferred to management. And my area was international broadcasting. And international broadcasting chief also has a role to do some, cooperative or business with the other broadcasters. So my mission was to meet high-ranking people in other countries. I had many in Asia because of my career. So I visited Europe and the United States, Canada, to to see people, important people, like Director General of BBC and President of PBS United States, and they were quite happy to see me, and I never thought that NHK was so important in the international area, sphere, but TV France journalist who became a very close friend of mine and who support me in the public broadcasters, international meetings, business. He told me, you think about NHK. NHK is important for us, PBI.
I see.
And BBC represents the West and NHK the East. So I never thought that way, but this way I woke up as an international negotiator.
I see.
And selling the East and introducing the West.
Yeah, it is so important for, I think, for the world, both broadcasting, as it brings two perspectives. One is Asia Pacific, mostly the other is Europe and America. How many people do work in NHK today?
NHK about 10,000, and including the subsidiary companies. We have a few subsidiary companies who send experts or professionals to NHK, so that NHK can keep the well-shaped, not to have too many people. Including these type of people, 17,000. And it's about the same with the BBC. They have a little bit more.
In Japan, NHK, it has, how many channels do you have, NHK separately?
Can you guess how many?
Well, 5.
Oh, good number. We have two terrestrial channels. And these two channels, we have 47 parts of Japan, prefectures, and in each prefecture we have at least one office, broadcasting.
So it's a local NHK.
Your local NHK. They produce local news and local programs, but mainly they carry NHK national programs.
So both. Then, do you have separate, like BBC? BBC says BBC
Yes,
Education.
Yeah. We have educational channel, terrestrial, and this one you can see the same program everywhere.
Everywhere around the country.
So that's two terrestrials and one satellite channel. And this, you have to have different contract. You have to pay another 1,000 yen per month.
For satellite?
For satellite. But
Plus
only one
1,000.
channel. Before we had two channels, but we have to give up one.
Okay.
When we made the change of the license fee.
I see. Because terrestrial and satellite, depending on the access, right?
Yes.
You can access one is at home.
Yes.
The other is when you move, or everywhere. Everywhere. So there is only one NHK, which is a public broadcasting company. How many private TV do you have?
We have 5 nationwide networks.
5. All private?
Yeah, private, 5 nationwide work.
So with
network.
NHK, there are 6.
Yes.
And
or maybe with educational channels 7.
7, okay.
Yeah.
You know how many we have?
Yeah, I heard.
We have at all administration level.
Yes.
They have own TV.
Yes.
And altogether, the channel will be more than 300.
Oh.
And also plus social media is coming. So how do you see the evaluation of broadcasting today? Because you have been working for many years as the head of Asia Pacific Broadcasting Association and also Public Broadcasting International.
Yes.
So you see the bigger picture.
Yes.
With the social media now, how do you see the next, say, 10, 20 years, public TV?
Well, as well as, public TV, excuse me, as well as the commercial stations, we have difficulties in keeping the both ends meet.
Both have problem
Yes.
with finances.
Because the internet, they are receiving more and more commercial, and with the case of any Japanese private stations, the network, head of the network, their income from the commercial, I think it's about a half compared to 10 or 15 years ago. So you can see.
So if you see total advertisement income, how much belongs to NHK?
NHK is 100% license fee, so we are not allowed to receive commercials like BBC.
Okay, NHK, BBC, no commercial.
No
commercial. Okay, the other ones, I'm trying to compare the budget.
Yes.
NHK has bigger budget in terms of collecting money, or the commercial TVs.
Well, before, I think one of the commercial network got more than NHK did.
I see.
But now it's 60%, 70% of
NHK.
the NHK, what NHK gets. So 100 NHK, 70.
Each of them or all together?
No, altogether it's more than
NHK.
Because there are 5.
You see, how hard is to have a license for private commercial TV in Japan? What are the requirements?
License fee is only for the use of NHK. And for the commercial stations, they do their own business.
Yes.
And their income comes from mainly from advertisement, but they do some other business, production, and how do you say? They have a big building and they rent out.
I see.
Yeah. So they have to find ways to survive.
Oh, okay. And I understand to have the permission, say I want to make my commercial TV, I apply for permission license to the government.
Yeah.
What are the requirements? Should I have own building? Should I have staff? Should I have beforehand or after?
Well, before, I think there are many groups that wanted to have license fee because they thought the area, the field is promising. But now I don't think many would think that way, unfortunately. And Japanese case, for example, our major networks are somewhat related to major newspaper companies.
I see.
So
TV and newspaper together.
Yes.
Okay. This 5 commercial TV, all of them have own newspaper.
Yes. One is related to Asahi Shimbun, Asahi newspaper, Mainichi, and Yomiuri. And Yomiuri is conservative. Asahi and Mainichi are very liberal. And Sankei, that's also conservative. And Nikkei, that's business.
So only these 5, Asahi, Mainichi,
Yomiuri,
Yomiuri, Sankei, and Nikkei. These are the TV names also.
Yes, they started TV stations 50 or 40 years ago, or not, 70 or 60 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So they have some relations still, but not so strong.
Okay.
But when NHK want to start something, if the new project is not good to the TV stations, other 5 networks, we have some problems receiving criticism from the newspapers and from the commercial stations.
And yet all of them now, as being media corporation, it also to have a digital presence.
Yes.
Website, all time updated.
Yes. But I shouldn't forget that Japanese system is a 2-tier. One is public broadcasting, and 5 other broadcasting networks do their own entertainment, sports, or some educational. But mainly the public broadcasters, well, they do both news reporting and news programming, but our emphasis is on news and some educational programs, some entertainment, and sports.
Let's talk about journalist independence. As journalists, in which cases you need to disclose your source? Is there any kind of cases where you had to?
Okay, I should put it this way. If I reveal the source, and if that would increase the value of the news, I should ask my source whether I can do that, trying to convince that this way I can tell more impressive.
But there are cases where they kind of whistleblowing case where
most I should say I've never met such people.
I see.
I tried.
You are lucky.
Yeah. Well, news source is something like that.
Okay. What was the most difficult case for you as a journalist during all these years? Where you had to, you was feeling very hard or very happy. So
it's very difficult. But any news reporting, well, at certain stage I feel very depressed. And if a commuting train comes, I should jump in because I lost the story. And newspaper got the front page line, and I was deeply shocked as a journalist. But such a thing happened many years, many things. But we work together, and somehow we can go back, and we could win. So,
what you mean is your news are coming before you have published?
No.
What is that?
There's a scoop by our competitors.
Okay.
And then I felt like to jump into a train.
Right.
But then if I work hard, I could get a little bit of scoop.
Okay.
So somehow I could maintain my business as a journalist.
So what was the most particular event that you have been reporting which inspired you as journalist? That you had such a satisfaction that you have done a good job?
Well, first, I have a kind of relatively wide interest. So as a young journalist, I could choose anything. So nobody can see people as I could, because like you interviewed the Pope or Dalai Lama, and just because you have this interview, and this way, it's the same. I was a reporter, and I made interviews to many people, and I could choose the people I interviewed.
I see.
And I think we share the value. And also, as time goes by, I really wanted to be a foreign correspondent from the beginning, from the start. And first I wanted to Vienna, because I could hear music.
Okay.
But such a thing didn't happen. So I was sent to Southeast Asian states and covered ASEAN. And with my own eyes, I saw the downfall of President Marcos in 1986, February 26th, and downfall of President Suharto in Indonesia. They both maintained in their jobs for more than 25
More
years.
than 25.
Yeah.
And tragically ended.
I shouldn't say tragically,
No?
because it's by the power of the people power,
Uh-huh.
and by the people of the streets in the Jakarta. In Jakarta, that capital of Indonesia. And they were not satisfied with the dictators. But after 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, the son of the president, Marcos, became the president.
Yes, now Marcos
Yeah.
Jr. is president.
He's a different guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's related to his father. And it's very interesting to see how the people vote. And so in Indonesia, he's what you say, supporter. Most powerful assistant of Mr. Suharto became the president this time.
Oh, I see.
So I feel a bit, what you say, pensive,
I see.
thinking about these facts after 50 years.
You have been also reflecting September 11.
Yes.
At the time when you were the head of the international department of NHK.
Yes.
So what was it like?
Anyway, I went back home and taking shower, but my wife screamed that a plane flew into a tall building.
Yes.
And I thought that it's done by Al-Qaeda, because they...
Oh, immediately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they attacked the building, I think a few months or a year and sometimes ago. And I remembered such incident, and their feeling, attachment, to the...
So you immediately thought it was Al-Qaeda?
I should say so.
Wow, okay.
Because,
You were right.
Reporters, they have some memory of similar incidents. And we try to correlate these incidents and first make a kind of, a story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now my final question on this social media, with the new way of communication in social media, which is a lot. Facebook has several billion followers, etc. So how the BBC or NHK World compete with this fast news by everybody?
Well, they have means from their office or from their studio or any from their origin to the receivers. And before we thought setting these
Connection.
waves
Okay.
is very expensive. And we don't think that, we thought that their communication cable is quite just
Powerful.
small.
Small. Okay.
So broadcasting had a strong advantage over these kind of networks. But by introducing the other idea, the glass fiber and many things, they play like the power of the broadcasting.
So how do you see the future?
Well, that's a problem. Good question. And broadcasters ask themselves, I think, at the meeting of Public Broadcasters International in 2022, we had a closed-in session of world public broadcasters. They are all presidents or director generals, and there are about 20, and they scream sports. So sports would be the way.
The sport will survive.
Yeah.
On public TV.
Olympics, World Cup suckers. These are kind of advantage for us. And myself think that news, because our competitors, the digital competitors, they start from the origin, but in the origin they don't have their newsrooms. So we have our own newsrooms and experts, professionals, and we have good teams of reporters. Then I think we can compete when something happens.
I see, when something happens.
Yeah.
On the one side. On the other side, don't you think that the traditional media like TV, public broadcasting, they have several layers of fact-checking? Journalists, editorials, then chief editor, then there are certain trust, because we see the name.
Yes.
When the NHK is announcing, then we understand. But when somebody is announcing on social media, people are a little bit cautious, right? So probably this is the trust, and which will stay with public TVs, well-known TVs, and plus, I think, well-known newspapers.
Well, with the case of X, the former Twitters, and I'm sorry, I'm old and I can't.
Elon Musk?
Well, Elon Musk and Twitters, for example.
Yes.
These are not doing well.
As media platform or is it news?
They are not making money as they did before. So there are two different groups. Group that maintain good income or high growth.
Like Facebook.
YouTube is low. So they are separated in two groups. So I don't know the future of the digital media, but if their income is getting low, I think they have to shift their business somewhere. I don't know how.
You think Twitter will be shifted to other businesses?
I don't know. But they would sell their company from one person to another.
Yes.
That's their style of business. So I am still pessimistic about the broadcast media. But for the public broadcast media, I think we have to to survive.
And last question on financing. How important money is for freedom of speech through journalists?
I see. The important thing for the public broadcasters international was to keep our media, public media, because it is necessary for keeping the civic society. That means to maintain democracy. And for democracy, they have to have some way, some manners of expression. And that's public broadcasting. So I always tell people, JICA invites many journalists from Africa, Asia, and former Soviet countries. And I keep on telling that democracy and public broadcasting, it's interdependent. So democracy doesn't stand if there's no public broadcasting. Public broadcasting doesn't stand without democracy.
And public is to be truly public, financed by the public.
Yes, yes.
That's the important part. All right. Thank you very much for coming to my
Thank you very
interview
much.
and sharing your experience and wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your interest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
За хүн үзэгчдээ өнөөдөр манай дефакто нэвтрүүлгийн зочноор NHK компаниг олон жил толгойлж байсан ноён Сато оролцсон. Баярлалаа.
Хам богдуул хатан туулгалын хөвөөндөх цэнгэг агаартай бүсэд байрлалтай. Хүүхдэд ээлтэй хотхны төлөвлөлт болон эрүүл амьдралын хэм маягийг эрхэмлэгч та бүхнийг King Tower апартментийн 5 дугаар ээлжийн орон сууцнд урьж байна. Амар тайван амьдрал, аян давтагдшгүй